a report of a person trapped under 7 tonne of steel at BHP. At this stage, we can only go off what the report said.
907, all 3 cars on scene.
What those 3 ambulance crews found on that fateful day in 1996 was truck driver Mick DeMeo, very lucky to be alive. By the way, this is not a reconstruction. These shots are real, taken by Beyond Productions for a television program, Emergency 000, on that day.
When I went down, on my right leg got tangled up on the way down, but when I come to rest on the ground, I had that hunk of steel on my left foot.
Five years down the track, Mick no longer drives his truck, but has a permanent reminder of that day every time he walks. Other people have not been so lucky.
Over the last couple of years, there have been 2 fatalities, loading or unloading steel product, and we're very conscious that we need to make sure that our people understand that things which are maybe common sense in appearance have to be thought about, because if you don't do those things, you can get caught out. And there's no one set of rules that we can give you for every site and every situation, because we recognise that they're all different. But we've got some principles that we've put together in these transport safety guidelines that we want people to stop, consider for their site, and say, okay, well, how does this apply to my site? And get those key principles, talk amongst themselves, find the right answer for their site.
I was going to do that. I was doing that load and going to bloody bowls, for Christ's sake.
Oh, was, huh?
One of the very important ones in the document, we believe, is the idea of exclusion zones. There are certain places that the driver should be and should not be when the vehicle's being loaded and unloaded. We cannot afford to have people in the wrong places. That's how accidents like Mick DeMeo's tragedy happened, when you come in too close in the wrong place.
My idea was just to jump clear of the truck, but I wasn't quick enough. And the first piece in a bundle of 5, the outside one in the bundle of 5 came loose and just fell, and it picked me up on the way down quicker than I could clear the truck.
How does that apply for your site? Well, it's going to vary with every different product type, but get the principles of this exclusion zone and at-risk zones where maybe you have to get up on the truck, for example, but you shouldn't be there while the product is coming in towards you, for example. And so look at those exclusion zones and decide for your site how that should apply.
How bad does it look?
Your right foot?
Yeah.
Well, your right foot's pretty bad, actually.
Complacency is one of the big killers, and one of the big things that hurts our people. We get very complacent about the fact that we're up on the back of the truck very often. I would reckon half of the time when drivers tell me they have to be up on the back of the truck, they probably don't, but they're used to being back up on the truck. So think about it. Do you have to be up on the truck? If you really have to be on the truck, okay. Think about how you're going to do that in a safe manner, getting up safely, getting down safely, and making sure that when you're up there, you're conscious of the extra risk involved.
The right leg was one hell of a mess. I didn't see it. To be amputated later on.
Amongst the many and varied things I do is I get to investigate the tragedies. And without question, every time there's been a serious accident in any of the things that I've investigated, there's been something different. It's been something new, maybe a new person, maybe a different product today, maybe it's the weather, it's a really wet day and the guy slips more often. There's usually something different about today. And that's a key lesson then for our safety to work in a positive way before the accident, say what's new or different or unusual about today's load or today's situation. That's a warning sign to you, a little flag that, hey, hang on, this is something that could catch me and bite me on the tail.
He's lost his foot. He could quite have easily lost his life. And after working in the industry since the accident, I've realised again how lucky he really is. It's a very dangerous industry, and he was very lucky to survive.
How often have you seen an accident investigation report which says, oh, one of the key problems here was the communications weren't clear? What the hell does that mean? Well, what it means to me is that I'm getting you eyeball to eyeball. I'm using my hands. I'm actually watching the person. I'm not talking here and looking away, because so much of our language is all about the body language rather than just the words. Don't be embarrassed that you might have to speak up louder if you're in a noisy warehouse. Don't be embarrassed by those things. It's really important. Eyeball to eyeball, watching the person, because you can pick up those clues when they say 1, 2, 3, they mean 1, 2, 3.